Reka, atam reka hapla. All houses set up. Hello, Michigam. Momos moga. Konfidasi susuk di bos.
야, 디밥 된 찌개.
지송산제 탐지기고 소토 이순다부다가 시야 사초다 이주진벨라네라서 ini buat tamha.
Allah makina. طب تعرفها
Tapi nangis. Bagus. Nah, bukan konsep lain. Nanti relation ani itu berarti.
Eh, ani kalau mah ya jadi komentar ya.
Mana game na Instagram. Game na
Ah, 28, 27, 28.
I'm actually born at the southern belt of Bhutan, where there's a small community place called Gelefu. Actually, you know, it's a very interesting multicultural. A lot of people, not just Paro or Ha or Thimpu like that. We have a lot of people from Nepalese settled down there. So I was actually born and brought up in that community. And the reason why I was down there is because I actually, we are not from there, but my father, since he was working in a police, he was serving the third king. So he was shifted down there. And he was kind of like a base in charge. So later, after he resigned, then he got married to my mom. So that's how we are 6 sisters and 1 brother. So we are a large family. Born and brought up there, then things, mom died at a very young age. My mom, I think when I was 9, we lost our mom, and dad was struggling to bring us up. So that's when things didn't turn out for him. So we had to, sustain ourselves to get educated. So my eldest sister, she was only 16 when she took over. So since then, business has been always there because my mom was a businesswoman. Then my sister took over, Then from small only we got exposed to this kind of life, you know, struggling women, we have to do this. Because back then when my mom was there also, she was kind of like a bread earner in the family, because my father was a retired, and since he was into police, he didn't know anything else. So my mom was bread earner of the family. So then my sister took over. I don't know whether I should be telling this to you, but we had how to say now, a clash between the southern belt of Bhutan, whereby we had a lot of I don't know how to call it, problems down there in southern belt, whereby the Nepalese agitated. They said like, okay, we want independent, we don't want to wear your ko and kira, we don't want to speak your language. That's when there was a clash. So my father thought that, you know, daughter in this condition, daughters, they should be protected. So that's when he started posting us here in Paro and in Timpo. So all my sisters, we are in Paro. So till the time when I was still in class 12, we were still down there. It was a beautiful, nice, clean, green area. It was a happening place back then. A lot of people actually, the development that they have here now, we already had that back 20 years ago down there. It was really well planned place, but this political situation happened and everything closed down. Now the place is kind of like a pathetic condition. Phinsiling is a border to West Bengal. So the Gelifu area, we are just next to Assam. But it was not just in the place, it was like the whole southern belt of Bhutan. So the conflicted area we had was Gelifu, Sarpang, Samrup Dzongkha, and it went all until the east of Bhutan. So the whole Himalayas, whole southern belt of Bhutan was in turmoil. It wasn't pleasant, but now people regret a lot. It was kind of like they left Bhutan, they gave up all the lands they had so much. You will not believe the facilities our king, back then it was our king, you will not believe the facilities our king had given to these people. The best irrigation channels we had, the well-planned town we had, best of schools, best of healthcare facilities, best of everything. We had so much development down there. Like I'm saying, here in Paro, they hardly have any producing industries or anything like that. Back then there we already had like 4 or 5 industries already going on. Now we are not allowed to call them Nepalese, we are supposed to address them as Losampas. We have this term. His Majesty very clearly said that you're not allowed to use that word, because for Nepalese it's Nepal, so they are like the pure Bhutanese, so we have to use that word called Losampas. So no idea why they did this. You know, for me, being born and brought up there in this place where I saw a lot of facilities, what they are enjoying here now, we already had that back then. Why they had these problems? No, we still don't have that answer. In 2008, our king already gave up his seat to he declared democracy, and then he stepped down from the throne. So much thing was going on, you know, and then the old people whom they have seen and then served the country, they still feel so much for the country. They said, okay, now things are changing, now it's all up to you girls to handle your life. I mean, like, I don't remember having such a father-daughter connection with my dad, because he already had so much, because he had to look after so many kids, and then things were not so good on his side also. And if you ask about my mom, I only have that vivid memory of her. No particular time, no daughter mom kind of shopping, holiday, nothing of that sort, nothing of that sort. But, I think when she died, I was only 8 years old, and then I was in hostel. I was in hostel, so I hardly have any memory of her. But when I hear from my sisters what they have to say about mom, That's when I come to know about what my mom was. I think that's when I got the strength to be who I am now. Everything is, inspiration, the pillar of strength and everything. I get this strength from the stories I heard about my mom from my sisters. I would have not been able to complete my education if my elder sister wasn't there. She's been there. She was taking care of all the siblings. Because my father was kind of like, he was working in you know what charcoal mine is, right? So he was based there somewhere from the place that we were. He was 500 kilometers in the jungle. So he used to hardly have time to come out, have family time. So it was all within our sisters and the brother that we have. It was all the siblings only. So we didn't have any elder people like the parents or anybody in the family. So it was just my sisters. So, whatever I am, whatever educations that I have, everything, it's all because of my eldest sister. Yeah, she's been like a mother to all of us actually. She was actually here with me in the lodge. It's just that now she is 58 years old. She's 58 years old and she just left this May. She wanted to retire because she has 23 years old grown up daughter. Then she said, it's time for me to have my family time now. So even her daughter was saying now you can retire, now I can support you kind of thing. So even she's a single mother. She's a single mother. So her daughter is supporting her and then she's having good life. I always tell my kids also, I don't want you all to have that kind of memory 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line. I don't want you all to think back and then think that, okay, what was the precious moment I had with my mom? I had none. I don't want them to have that feeling. That's why small family time that we have, I always try to have a good, cherishable moment with the kids. Every time away from duty, I'm always with the kids. I'm always with my kids. I remember that time I was already in job. I was working for a company. Internet came in 2001 and television was launched in 2002. Back then we didn't even know what was happening in the neighborhood. We didn't even know. Just next door neighbor also, sometimes, of course, next door neighbor we will know, but just the next block we didn't know what was happening. But now we know all over the world, we know everything, all the things as positive and negative. I think Bhutan, we are balancing that. We are balancing. Internet has done so much for the country and so much for the people. But like I said, every good thing has a negative impact as well. But for me, mobile phones and of course, only Namkha has. My daughter and my son, whenever they have to come to me, get the laptop and all. And I'm still trying to cut them small because I want them to experience when they have free time. My daughter, either she's in the kitchen cooking or doing some artwork and all that. I think let's not blame to the development and modernization that we have. As a parent, 90% responsibility, how to bring up your kid, what to values that you have to impart, it falls on you as well. My daughter, she's 17 years old and she still takes help from me. So that's the difference, because I try to keep away as far as possible my kids, trying to concentrate everything because they have other things in life to do also, other basic necessity, like going to kitchen and then at least preparing something for you when you're hungry, to do that one, to get yourself equipped. But if you look at the modern kids that we have, like I said, they will be so expert in doing things, but they will not know the basic necessities of life, like how to prepare yourself a bowl of rice or a bowl of emadasi. They will not know. And especially as a mother, as a single mother, because you are a father and a mother, and again you have another business to look after. So you are revolving round and round and round, and sometimes you feel that, okay, my God, I haven't done this to my kids. Now it's time for me. So I call them up, and then we have a one-on-one session with everybody. So I keep 3 of my kids, and then that's when we have like hours and hours of, I listen to them, I listen to what the problems they are going through, and then I say, okay, don't talk about mobile phones. Mobile phones you will get when I feel it's right for you to get. And then they say, okay, yeah, mom, no, we have problem with the project, we have problem with this. Then I say, okay, we already have a laptop in the house. So you already have that. And then that's when I always reflect, but of course it's very difficult for them to go back to 30 years, to 20 years. We did that. Without Google, we did that way back. And then our board was so stronger because we did ICAC, Indian board. And now yours is just the Bhutan board, not much. So that's how I give them comparison. And then, they try to just say, yeah, okay, fine, we do that. It's a difficult task. Getting married here in Bhutan is not like the fancy pomp marriage. You just start living together and then all your family members accept it. Yeah, it was not planned. It was way back when I had just shifted from Thimphu to Paro. Me and my ex-husband, we were like kind of neighbors, He was a bachelor, he had just come to Paro also, and then me also young, and I was working for a company, I was working for a travel agent. So that's when we met actually. I didn't have my parents' consent on that. It was just my sisters. So my sisters were like, yeah, as long as you're happy, as long as you feel that, you have got somebody in your life, and then you feel that you are going to settle down with him for good, we are happy. Yes, but his side, we had to go through a lot of, how to say it now, his families, they were not happy because they're from very influential kind of family. So a lot of things. For 2 years, from his side, our marriage was not accepted. But as time went on, we started having kids. Then, once we start having kids, then we are a family of our own. So that's when they started accepting. So that's when we started having family reunions and all that. But for 2 years, we were like totally aloof. When I was working for that company, my last company, when I was working there, and he was dropping me. I still remember that incident. He was dropping me. On the way, we had argument. Because then I was getting an offer to go to overseas, work for the same multinational company that they had. So I was just casually telling him, you know, I'm kind of like getting offer, I don't know what to do. That's when he jumped at his feet and he started saying, he was so many things he said, and at the end he said, women's job is, there is a famous saying, right? Women's job is by the fire or something like that. Yeah, he said like that. So I think somewhere down the line, yeah, sometimes I question myself, what made him drift away? Then that's when I started, a lot of questions were unanswered, you know. I had a lot of questions that I wanted to ask him. Then later, after he left me, that's when I started answering that questions that I had for him, I started answering it on my own. Because to be honest, when I was married, I didn't know what my favorite food was. I didn't know what my favorite color was. I didn't know what perfume to wear. I had no choice, because for me, my first priority was my husband, what he likes. So it was never about me. It was never about like what I like, what I want. It was always about the family, you know, for him, for the kids and all that. So I think I was too much concentrated in making everybody happy that I forgot myself. But later, once he left me, for of course a younger girl, for a younger woman, for a much well-maintained pretty girl, that's when it really hit me. That's when I realized that I had lost track of time, you know, trying to make everybody, every member in my family happy, that I forgot who I was. You shouldn't forget who you are. First thing is your priority. If you are not there, people say that I should be, even in Buddhism, they say like I should not matter, you know, first thing is we, first thing is for everybody. But to have a happy married life, I guess I should be always there, you know. Make everybody hear that I'm somebody that without me, nothing is going to function. I never did that, and that was my fault. And I think, you know, I was always at the back seat, and then I was always, so I think all these kind of small things, it all gathered up, and that was my weak point. That was, and a lot of women tend to do that. We always put your family in front, your family as in like your husband in front, your kids in front, and you are lost. It's a way of life here. It's way of life here. Men, they walk out, but still women will not stay pathetic. They will do something on it. They will be still supporting. They will be still supporting their family, still supporting the kids. They will not stay idle at home, you know, playing the victim game. We still go out. Not just me. Not just me. I mean, if you talk to a second person, a woman, she will also be doing the same thing. Yeah, she will be either, you know, like you said, selling pan on the street, and then she will be paying her own rent. She'll be sending 3 kids to school. She'll be managing everything on her own. if you look at the population, every second person, male or female, will be either separated or divorced. It's very rampant. It's very rampant. 65% of the land mass has to be covered in jungle, but now we have 71%. But at least when they made constitution is for like lifelong, right? So that time when they wrote, it was 65. But still now, it's still 71. All thanks to our great K4, fourth king. He is one of the most, visionary king. Just imagine when he was only 18 years old, that is when he gave this speech. Instead of GDP, GNH, gross national happiness. So that's what it has to be. The country is measured not by GDP. It has to be measured by gross national happiness.
I'm a King Kong.
We have so big mega hydro projects here in Bhutan. And for a landmass of our size, we are producing so much hydro power that I think only 2% or 3% is consumed here. Rest is all getting exported to India. See, for instance, the garments that we have. Of course, the fancy ones come. Some they come from China, some they come from Korea, Japan, all these places. But basic ones, all the, for instance, the national dress that we are wearing, the material itself comes from India. What to do? Our country, we don't have any productions here. We don't have factories. We are underdeveloped, right? So it's okay. And Bhutan has been like a big brother, taking care of every small details. We are like a pampered younger brother, the country itself. They are always there to protect us. So gas cylinders, the LPG cylinders that we get, the groceries that we have, the petroleum that we have, everything comes from India. We are happy. At least India is letting us enjoy the independence that we have. They are not totally in control. They are not totally, they haven't taken over our lives, you know. Like had it been, I'm just giving you an example, like Tibet and China. And like how they are controlling Nepal now. Everything is taken over. Now Chinese are allowed to buy land in Nepal. Chinese are allowed to establish business in Nepal. Whereas in Bhutan we still don't. I mean, we don't. For Indians, if Indians were totally in control of Bhutan, then there will be no issue of permit. Everybody would just come. They would establish everything. All the land that we have here, in fact, I'm sure by now, if it was open, all the Indians would be owning it. Now we have a Land Act. We have so many acts. And then that way Indian is giving us that privilege to enjoy the sovereignty that we have here. They are not totally in control of our life. Ancestors' time, from our first king time, ever since we got democracy, since the time we had what Bhutan as a country was recognized, we never had any relations with China. First thing is, I think because of the heavy terrain, it was never accessible by road or by any means. It was never accessible. So we don't, nowhere in the history it tells that we had anything to do with China. Here in Bhutan, when they come as a tourist, then they are all told what to do. It's like a package. So the guide is always there to monitor them, where they are going, what they are doing. And then, of course, like visiting zongs and monasteries, you are not supposed to take your cameras. So beforehand only they are told like that. But they are not allowed to do the trekking here in Bhutan. When Bhutan opened its gate for tourism, back then Nepal was going through a lot of crisis, a lot of hippies inflow, and then they were, all the boom in mass tourism comes in with all the negative impact. Our king was, of course, K4, fourth king. He was so wise enough, to get ideas from the neighboring countries, what negative impact mass tourism brings in. He already saw what happened to Nepal, and now they are still, it's been almost how many years now? It's been 40 years, almost 40 years, and they are still fighting, what repercussion they had back in 1970s because of that hippies. Tourism trend is changing. Now we have a lot of backpackers, we have a lot of, this, like you said, the young college people who, graduates who are looking at $20, at the maximum expense of $20. Don't you think it will be, Bhutan is such a small country, and then if we have this kind of mass tourism inflowing, we would not have had what Bhutan is now if mass tourism was already there on the onset. And now 100% indigenous people in Bhutan, land belongs to Bhutanese, business belongs to Bhutanese, all the houses that we have here belongs to Bhutanese. We don't have any outsiders. So thanks to our king. For instance, me, when I'm traveling out, the moment I get out of the plane, I see the chaos. Everyone is rushing, it's maddening, people are in rush. You feel caged. You really feel caged in your own body, in your soul is caged. I stay here. We are back in Bhutan here. We don't have to worry about all that. You have everything in abundance. You have clean air, you have clean water. I'm not saying that just because I'm a Bhutanese. I'm saying that because we travel outside, we come back, and then only we realize, thank God, I'm blessed. All the developed country or all the development country, what they are doing is they are pushing to have their, what do you call that, GDP. They just want to reach a certain stage in life. But when they reach that certain stage in life, then they look back. And then they say that, oh my God, we have reached at the top and we are still not happy. You don't have that satisfaction, because from there now where to go? Then that is when they look into a country like us, Bhutan, where we are at a snail pace. Our development is very slow, everything is slow, but still people here are happy. We don't. Life is not telling us to, move ahead. You are 5 years behind, or you're 10 years behind, or you have that much achievement. So we are in a snail pace. We are happy, and then these developed countries, they look at us and then they feel that, oh my God, such a generation's gap. And then I think in what do you call that? That something race. You lost. Of course, you are richer. You have so much money. You have everything in life. You have fancy cars, you have a big bungalow, you have everything, but still inside you're not happy. And then here we may not have fancy cars, we not have big bungalows, but still we are happy because our life here, nobody is forcing us. I mean, like I said, we don't have to have a big dreams. Society here doesn't force us to be who we are not. Everybody accepts for who you are. I think happiness counts a lot at the end of the day.
Chuluga, 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 chuluga. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Gawi gazum chikaten midi. Chasem nana yubita teni. Chedana mitechi donko chadi degeme. Chuluga, 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 chuluga. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.